We are finally back where it all began, and we have lots of fishing to do. How much fishing exactly? Lots.
I think I can use this.
Of fishing. Thank you for that, Jennifer. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of the Long Dark in our Against All Odds series. We have just arrived in the original loot-dense location. The OG loot-dense location. The very first place that we were ever excited to find in the Long Dark way back in 2014 and ever since. This is the camp office. Nice. Another magnifying lens. Just what I needed. The camp office. Oh, look, broth. In Mystery Lake. And when I say we're going to be doing lots of fishing, for those of you who maybe are not familiar with the Long Dark, or you're new to the channel, or even if you've been around a long time and you're not sure what's going on with this series, you haven't been following since the beginning, if this happens to be the first video you've watched, regardless of which camp you might fall into. Whoa, that was not what was supposed to happen. There we go. Regardless of which camp you might fall into.
Okay.
Hinterland has been releasing a lot of updates for the Long Dark this year. And it hasn't entirely gone to plan in terms of the cadence of the updates, but the idea was to kind of recreate the feeling of the early access patches when the Long Dark was still in pre-release, fresh out of its Kickstarter campaign. Tomato soup, pork and beans. Ooh, a potato sack. Nice. Man, that is really... So what's happening there, it happened on the potato sack and it also happened on the drawer. Like, if I go to click something and I just happen to, like, let the cursor migrate up off the top, it goes to try and shut my lantern off rather than searching the thing I'm trying to point at. It's so funny that's happened twice in rapid succession right at the beginning of an episode. Love that. Anyway, so they've released these updates that were intended to kind of recapture the feeling of early access. I picked up a lot of stuff, but I'm about to drop a ton upstairs. And one of the major changes that has arrived in the game, as I've mentioned many times this series and in recent series, is they have overhauled the fishing. Ah, there's a dead body. I was kind of hoping the dead body wouldn't be there, but you know, it is what it is. And I have spent very little time. Another storm lantern, which we can harvest. There's a book we can read. I have some reading to do too, so that might be one of the first things I do this episode. Hey, another bedroll. I would also love, while I'm here, to kill some ptarmigan so that we can get some more down for the bedroll that I've yet to make. We're like halfway or a third of the way there in terms of the amount of down. But yeah, anyway, I digress. I have spent next to no time with the new fishing system, and I thought it would be nice to have a series. The series isn't dedicated to exploring the fishing system, but the whole point of this series is to have a sort of more relaxed take. Our time in Forlorn Muskeg there was not was not relaxed whatsoever. That was disconcerting in every possible way. And we have some 17% tomato soup, everyone. Look at that. Look at that. Check this out. Hang on. I'm going to step over here to this drawer. Right? Right? I'm going to just step over here, and this tomato soup is going to go in that drawer permanently. Forever. Never to be touched again. By anyone. For any reason whatsoever. That was an old channel meme that I'm invoking right there. Not that it's a surprise. We pretty much invoke it every single time tomato soup appears. Okay. Where is... Alright, that's the bedroll, which means here's the bed. Perfect. Literally feeling my way around in the dark here. Okay, so this particular nap, I'm going to say 9 hours. I'm going to get 8, maybe some change. This is going to finally put me back at full condition. We had some shenaniganry in the muskeg, but things are getting a little bit better now. We do need stuff to drink, and thankfully that is easily arranged.
Man,
so let's go ahead. Jennifer, did you not hear me? I literally just said we need stuff to drink. Okay, well, I picked up some accelerant recently. I'm just going to use that since we have such an abundance of it. Still counts toward fire starting skill. I do have some reading I would like to do. which I'll do as soon as I can. But for now, let's just get some water boiling here on this fire. And while that's happening, let me take another quick look around, make sure I've picked everything up. There is, yeah, I've got these crates. There's a lot of stuff I can break down here. Yeah, might as well do this. So glad the hatchet's back at 100. Okay. This will help the fire go a little bit longer, and I might be able to... I've got 11 minutes so I can drink that. So I might lose like a percentage point of my life bar. Okay. Let's step over here and start thinking about the things that I'm carrying. Because God knows I'm carrying enough at the moment. We could drop some books. First and foremost, I'm just going to drop the newspaper there. Okay, I've got a lot of extra clothes, which I frankly don't even need to worry about breaking down right now, so let's just go ahead and drop those. And these are ready, so we'll drink. Nice. So that's 2/3 of my thirst meter right there. So that's going to leave me with about a tenth of a gallon, or yeah, just under a tenth of a gallon. Nice. Let's go ahead and drink, or get some water boiling so we can do that again. 2 hours left. Alright, what else can I drop? Because I picked up far too much stuff. Okay, so I have another Stormland in here. I'll have to harvest that in a second. I'm going to drop this cooking skillet, which I just don't need at the moment. Also, I think I picked up an extra pot. Did I not? Okay, I guess I left it there, which is smart. One thing I definitely need to do is read those books, and I have a number of things to put down up here now that I'm actually here. So, how long do we have? 8 minutes? Okay, I'm going to go downstairs. We're going to drop some stuff off at the workbench. Specifically the things that are related to arrows. Okay, now as tempted as I am to lay things out in a very satisfying fashion, the main thing I'm going to do right here is just drop some things off. I'm going to get rid of the lower condition whetstone. We're going to drop the arrowheads here. We're going to drop the extra magnifying lens. So much stuff. Okay, and we also have a lot of food that at this point needs to be dropped, especially the salt. So this is finally going to be a moment where the comment section rejoices. Because I'm going to drop a lot of the food stuff I've been lugging around, not willing to leave it in particular places. So let's go back up to our water, because we're going to get our cooking done up here at the dual stove. We might cook some fish downstairs, although primarily the place where we're most interested in getting fishing done and cooking of the fish that we catch is just going to be out on the lake in the fishing huts themselves. And of course, there are still plenty of fishing huts to be searched. Okay, so let's go ahead and drop a lot of the food-related items that I'm carrying. Drop all of that. Drop all of that. Drop... Oh, okay, it's dropping these individually. That's kind of rude, but okay. I'm going to drop that old mill flour as well. I'm still encumbered, which is hilarious. It's mainly because of the book and the extra tools that I'm carrying around. But let's do a little bit of organizing for just the satisfaction of it. So this broth really should have been dropped all at once, but it got sort of separated out, as can often happen. Nice that the spacing of things is working a little bit better than it has been in recent patches. This is one of the things that is going to be really interesting to do in the coming updates to the Long Dark, because if you missed it, another one of the major changes that is coming to Tales from the Far territory is there's going to be some ability, and they haven't really clarified what this means yet, but there's going to be some ability to kind of customize the interior spaces of places like this and sort of do a little bit more homemaking, given, especially if you're playing on lower difficulty and you're organizing space like this. What's some additional stuff that you can do to really make your base feel like home, as opposed to just this ruin that you've walked into that you're trying to survive in? Apparently Jennifer's hungry. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that plays out. Let's go ahead and eat the rest of these pork and beans. I have another can of them as well, which I am going to go ahead and eat to address that rumbly tummy. We have some potatoes that I'm tempted to cook because they're low condition at the moment. But for now, what I'm going to do, when we cook them, their condition will improve. But for now, what I'm going to do is just, we're going to get the rest of that. First of all, let's harvest this. This is going to take an hour. Do I want to do anything with this fire before anything? Yeah, I suppose it's probably a good idea. To get some more water. Also, let's drop these. Don't need them. Let's just pass time on this. Could have done like an hour of reading there, but I didn't want to risk boiling the water off. Okay, so now we can do like an hour of reading. We could technically boil a little bit more water, but I don't think it's necessary. First things first, let's go ahead and harvest this. And now we can totally refuel our one storm lantern. What else? Yeah, the books primarily. Bit of scrap metal. Okay. Yeah, let's eat this. Drink that. And we need to read those books before we get any fishing done, because I am done carrying those around. So, fire starting. Let's see. Yeah, I can go ahead and just read that outright. Excellent, that's one done. And then we have the Small Arms Handbook, which of course we won't be able to get to completely. So one thing I'm going to do is... Tell you what. Let's go ahead and open up this drawer. Let's open up the bottom drawer, because we're not putting anything in there with the tomato soup. That's not happening. We're going to put all this away for a moment. And I'm also going to go ahead and drop those two books. We'll read them one at a time when it's actually time to. It would be nice if we could stack things. But we cannot, sadly. Okay, clothes are pretty heavy. Clothes are honestly one of the things that are weighing me down a bit. But it's mainly tools, and it's been tools the whole time. So... I could drop some of this cooking stuff while I'm out and about. I think I'll leave the pan here. We'll put it on the back of this. Are you going to let me do it? Oh, wow. It's not going to let me place it there. Interesting. All right. We'll put it right there then. We have that sport bow as well, which we're not using at the moment. I could put a lot of my arrow stuff downstairs. Everything related to archery could go downstairs. I can also get rid of some of the stems. Not get rid of permanently, but just like leave them in the medicine cabinet while I'm hanging out here, so that I'm not as encumbered. Okay, main thing I want to do right now, let's head downstairs. Tell you what, I will drop off all that coffee as well. And the tea. Perfect. There will be more cattails to be picked up shortly. Let's head outside and see what we can find. We may also encounter some wolves. I hear a little bit of wind. A little bit of wind. Yep, it's a little stormy, but not actually blizzardy, which is good and bad. We'll put the rifle away for a moment. Oh, wow. Hold on. Huh. I've just been thinking to myself, game doesn't seem to be ducking, even though ducking is turned on. Well, just found the reason why. Game's ducking now. Everything's fine. If we're going to be out in the wind, I want the wind to shut up a little bit when I'm talking. Alright. I don't want to pass by every cattail, although I suppose it's okay to leave some behind for my return to the camp office. So I have a lure with me right now. We do need to get some wood so that I can have a fire. So I might not start fishing right away here. We might do a little bit more scavenging of the area. Not only to see what other gear is present, but also just to be fully prepared supplies-wise. But if we're lucky, we can stay here for a while and kind of live off the land, or in this case, off the water. Live off the lake, if you will. What in the world was that? Alright. Interestingly, no cattails there. Let's go a little bit farther here. Although, hold on. What would be the easier route to the first? Yeah, we can keep going. Okay, nice. So here is... looks like a fir limb. Perfect. It's going to take 45 minutes to chop up, but it is not that cold at the moment. So this is actually a good opportunity.
The sun is setting. It's going to get a lot colder soon.
To get some firewood. For the very purpose I was just describing. Let's also grab a stick. Really interesting that I do not see any wolves in the area. That's potentially problematic. Oh, I know what that was. Sorry about that. Heard a notification noise. And I was like, I don't know what that was. I'm going to keep recording, but then I remembered what it was. So, problem solved. Alright. I do not see any wolves. That's kind of worrying. We're still warm enough, thanks to all the stuff we repaired. These cattails that I'm finding will ensure...
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Thank you. I'm aware of that, Jennifer. These cattails will ensure that I have, you know, something to snack on while I'm waiting for the substantive contribution to my diet. Alright, so there's... we might as well poke our heads in here real quick, since we're so close. Really doesn't matter which hut we do the fishing in. It's just that I'm kind of tempted to do it in that one, because the wolves are less likely to be, like, surrounding that one. But I have full life again, so I'm at a point where I feel a little bit... Oh, nice. Flare shell. I feel a little bit more capable of fending for myself out here, even at night. Let's go ahead and take a peek with a little bit of help from the light. Nothing in that container. There we go again. Okay. Wow. One of the things that I've always admired about the Long Dark is that it captures the feeling of twilight really well. Like, this feeling of, you know, the sun is going down. There's not quite any moonlight yet. That is the hardest time in the real world for the human eye to see things clearly. Because it's that transitional phase between daylight and moonlight. And the Long Dark does a really good job of sort of creating that dim light. Whether or not it's intentional, it might just be a natural occurrence. Given that they're simulating daylight and nightlight, it might just be, they don't have to do anything special. It's just our human eyes doing what they do, not being able to see in certain ways at certain times, even when you're talking about simulated daylight and nightlight. So it might not be anything special that Hinterland does, but it's still really cool.
I could eat anything right now.
Okay, so apparently we're hungry. I'm going to use the cattail head. I'm not going to use accelerant. 85% start chance is good enough for me. And then what we will do is start getting ready to do some fishing. We can do some fishing here in the cabin, and also there are tip-ups, which are available to me now, which I'm really not familiar at all with how those function. I've used them a very little bit. Alright, so this ice fishing hole, I would imagine, from the ambient heat here, should start to thaw, right? Not really? Or I guess, oh no, that's what it is. You have to break it open first. See, this is how rarely I actually do fishing in ice in the Long Dark. I don't remember what those particular interface elements are reminding me of. Alright, ice fishing hole cleared. Very nice. So how long do we have on the fire? 4 hours, 58 minutes, and plenty of heat, which is nice. Okay, so we could fish for an hour here. We only have 357 calories stored. Tell you what, before we... Oh, wow. Ruined pinnacle beaches. That's incredibly... What? No, 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 no. I didn't say eat. I said... Are you seeing this? It just did it twice in a row. Okay. It was trying to eat those ruined pinnacle beaches. Wow, that was scary. At least I have... you hear that? Okay. Well, this night just got more interesting. Which is something I'll honestly be saying virtually every night in this series. The auroras are very, very frequent. Okay. So as long as this burns, this should kind of stay cleared. So let's start by fishing for a couple of hours. We're going to use the fishing lure. No bait. Hang on, craft tackle. So we need a workbench. Looks like we can use acorns. And then there's the fishing tip-up, which does require 2 sticks. So this is when we can catch fish unattended. So as long as I have 2 sticks, I can make one of these. And I do have what it takes to make one of these right now. And we could just kind of leave it out. It's very similar to a snare for catching rabbits. But for now, let's just do some real-time fishing. Let's start fishing. Go for 2 hours. See how this goes. Nice. Smallmouth bass.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
And some whitefish. All right. Decent start there. Tell you what, let's go ahead and drop both of those so that we don't attract attention. Now, the blizzard outside, which that's clearly a blizzard, is going to protect us from wolves, ironically. And oddly enough, we're still warm in here, thanks to the fire and thanks to the fact that we're protected from the wind. So, let's put down a cooking skillet, which we brought with us for a reason. We're going to cook this smallmouth bass. Wow. There's actually not a lot of places this thing can sit in here. Hello? Are you really going to make me fight for it? Wow. Okay. Well. Not sure what the deal is, but we'll just leave it where I set it. 25 minutes until ready. Which is going to be perfect timing, because I do need to eat. Also need to sleep, honestly. But it was nice to do a little bit of fishing. And already catch a couple. Tip-ups would be good, too. We'll need to grab some sticks and do that. Maybe once the sun rises. I need to get some sleep as well. Alright, let's just pass time on this. Eat that. We got some lamp oil out of that, which is nice. I'll go ahead and pick this up, and then this should cook a little bit faster, I would think. Yep. And then what we'll do is just make our way toward the cabins to get some rest. But this has been a lovely start to the fishing, and I'm getting some lamp oil. Not a lot, but it's also not nothing. Okay, so there's no point taking a... Man, I really hate to leave this fire. But I also don't really need it for anything. I mean, I could fish for a while longer. I could do that. Let's break the ice using the hunting knife. Use the fishing lure. And we fish for another 2 hours right now. It does seem like it's warm enough at the moment. Let's fish for an hour at a time. How about that? Just to be on the safe side. Oh wow, nothing. Okay. Still good. Fishing line snapped. Oh, that's unfortunate. And the blizzard seems to have caught up with me. So, I'm going to pick up my cooking skillets and let's drink some water. Ironically, like, don't get me wrong, those calories are definitely helpful. But not particularly so. Okay, I need to be careful here because the wolves may have reappeared, I think. Maybe not. Still going to be careful. Let's head this way. All 3 cabins are up because we are playing on settings that mostly allow these to remain in place without being burned out, which is nice. Always happy to see that. So next I might want to mess around with the tip-ups, but I need a couple of sticks to do that. Alright, I see the bear over there, right in front of the fishing hut. There he is. He, she. Plenty cold, as per usual in the long dark. Let's step inside. I'm hopeful that since all of the cabins are up, this is actually going to be a pretty lucrative loot location for us. Inside we go. Okay. Need a little bit of fuel. A little bit of light, rather. There's more coffee. Nice. Nothing there. Stump remover, accelerant.
I think I can use this.
Nice. Balaclava. Now, unfortunately, you can't wear 2 of those. So I'm glad to have found 2. That's one of the things that's really interesting, by the way, about the current state of gameplay in Long Dark, is that because the world is so vast and there are so many loot-dense locations, you know, compared to when this was all there was, there's just a higher likelihood of you finding rare items, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie, I might have overlooked something in there. That was a pretty quick and dirty search. So I'll have to... Oh, there's some revolver ammo. Nice. A rifle cartridge. Even nicer. Accelerant. Candy bar. Okay, nothing really here, and I feel like I've got enough energy. Yeah, let's go to the 3rd cabin. It's right here. Super accessible. I still don't see the wolves, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit disconcerting. Okay, there's some work boots, which... I'm glad to find those, but I'm already wearing mucklucks, so work boots are kind of meaningless. Are there some peaches, some matches, medicine shelf? Wow, more painkillers. Okay. Like I said, very, very, very loot-friendly locations here. Let's go ahead and do a couple of things. I'm going to put this away. I don't need to eat or anything. I think I can just safely sleep for 9 hours. I think I heard a hint of an aurora there for a second, but we fished for most of the night, actually. But now that we're awake, and it's just past noon, we've got a save point, 26 days, 5 hours, 37 minutes. Time changed right at the end there. In the next episode, we are going to step right out here.
I would do anything for a drink right now.
And find some sticks and set up a tip-up in one or more of these fishing huts and see what we can do there. It would be fun to see, like, especially if we set up tip-ups in multiple fishing huts, like how well that worked as a strategy for catching a lot of fish at once, especially on difficulty settings like these. This is not like really high fish scarcity the way that you might see on Interloper, and Interloper's fish scarcity is not that bad when you look at the setting possibilities, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless kind of what the possibilities are now that we have the option to do that. I have never messed with these systems before, so it's all completely new to me, and I'm just sort of fiddling around to see what will happen with the lures in place, with the tip-ups. We really, so far, we haven't done anything with the new systems. Just caught fish the old-fashioned way using lures, which that was new. But more to be explored in the coming episode or 2 or 3. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. For channel emotes and member badges, look for the join button to learn more. New episodes drop every day but Wednesday at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and comments are always welcome, so leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.